G'day and welcome to Wine Week. I'm Dan.
And I'm Brad.
And Brad, you're going to kick us off with something a little bit different this week.
Yeah, so I'm going to look at a different white wine this week. The reason that this wine is a bit different is it's a bit lower in alcohol. Now this is the Lindemann's Early Harvest Semillon Sauv Blanc 2007. Now the thing that makes it different, it's about 8.5% alcohol. Now most white wines are usually over 10%, so maybe 11, 12, some even push up to 13 if you're looking at some of them. So they say on average it's about 30% less alcohol than most white wines. So for those people who are a bit health conscious and looking after how much they drink and still want to enjoy a crisp white wine on a summer's evening, then this is actually a good little option. It's relatively new release from Lindemann's, and they're also marketing it as a sort of less calories as well, because compared to some of their other whites, it has about 30% less calories too. So if you're watching your weight, maybe watching how much you drink, then this one's worth a look.
Yeah, and a really great label I think on that one as well, so it'll really stand out on the shelves. Something that you might not see a lot of on the shelves is our next wine. This is the Pirathon by Koleski. Now, you've heard us talk about Koleski before. You know that I'm a huge rap for the sort of wines that they've been producing over the last couple of years. They're kind of sixth generation grape growers that finally struck out on their own and decided to put their own label on things. Now, the Pirathon isn't their own grapes. This is actually contract grape growers from around the Barossa that normally would be selling off their parcels to huge producers and just watching it kind of get washed into a mess of wine. But yeah, Troy Koleski at Koleski basically has taken their great parcels of wine, turned it into just a brilliant bottle. And look, there's a mate of mine who I thoroughly respect when it comes to wine. He reckons that this is the best inexpensive red you can buy in Australia. Now that's a pretty big call, and I'm not sure that I'd go quite that far, but at just over $20, this is absolutely brilliant. It is something that you really should go out of your way to have a look for. Get a bottle of it, open up. There's beautiful, rich notes in there. It's a sort of thing that would go really well with kind of roast beef, maybe even a casserole, something like that. It is something you should look out for, the Pirathon by Koleski.
Yeah, and like most of the Koleski range, if you buy one of their bottles, you can't go wrong.
No, you really can't.
I'm going to finish this week with a wine that's a little more expensive, but look, you can pick it up on special quite a bit less than its recommended retail generally. This is the Wolf Blass Grey Label Cabernet. Look, recommended retail is about the 40 mark, but it does get heavily discounted. It's one of the Foster's lines that does regularly come up on special. For example, we picked up our bottle for just under $30, so that gives you an idea. Wolf Blass have a number of different levels in their wine, starting with the Platinum, which is really, really expensive. Then coming down to the Black Label, which is still really expensive, about $100 or so. Then you come down to the Grey Label. So the quality of the fruit in here is still really, really good. And this particular one's sourced from Langhorne Creek. So we've done a few Cabernets from Coonawarra and Margaret River and those specialist sort of Cabernet areas, but Langhorne Creek produces some really good ones as well. We opened up this last week and had a taste, and it's got all the component parts there. It's probably still a bit young to be drinking. We'd recommend this for at least some sort of medium-term cellaring, just so it comes together a bit and the fruit starts to shine through and integrates with the oak and everything else. So, at just under $30 on special, it's really worth a look.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of grey labels in the cellar at the moment that are a few years older than that. Opened up one recently, just starting to hit its straps now. Do try and leave it for a couple of years, but at the discounts you're getting this for, you can afford to put some of them down. Anyhow, that's it for this week on Wine Week. We'll see you again next week.
See you next week.